Righty, kia ora koutou, nā mai hana mai. Welcome everybody. Please be upstanding and I'll welcome Brent Richardson from the Timaru Presbyterian to lead us in prayer. Welcome Brent, nice to see you.
The tardiness, I was supposed to be, well I am actually on time, but I made a rush, it was a rush trip down, so yeah, kia ora everybody. My understanding of this is potentially the last council for the year of this group, so my prayer will reflect that, so let's pray. Loving God, we give you thanks for the past 3 years that this council has served our community. We thank you for all the time, all the effort, the energy, the focus that has gone into the governing of our district. And Lord, for those who are not re-elected, we pray that you would be with them in their disappointment if they're disappointed, or in their joy if they're joyful about that. We thank you for their service. We pray for those who will be re-elected. We thank you for the continuity that they will bring, that they will be able to continue on the plans, the dreams and the hopes of this district. And we pray for those who will come on board as new councillors, and we pray for new thinking, fresh ideas, for the new energy that they will bring. Thank you, Lord, for those who are voting and have voted already, and we give you the results. They're in your hands, Lord. We pray, Lord, for the leadership of this council going forward, that the decisions they make will help us to flourish, for all to flourish in this community, in this beautiful part of the country that you've placed us in. This we thank you and we praise you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you. Alrighty, please stay standing and I'll ask Councillor Parker for one last time to lead us in the waiata.
E re re ra e aku wai Māori I maringi atura kia koutou e re re ra e aku wai Māori I maringi atura kia koutou e Rangitata ki runa puri ora ki raro te tai o atu tuia ki a wena we e re rare aku ai mi e.
Alrighty, that was actually probably not too bad. Please be seated, everyone. And we've been discussing lately, it's the big challenge for the new council is who gets to lead the waiata. So that will be a decision for the next council, so we won't discuss that too in-depthly today. I'd like to welcome Shane and Rosie, great to have you with us. Best of luck for your elections in the Community Board. I'd like to welcome Graham and Stu, who are running for elections as well. Great to have you with us in the chamber. Move now to apologies. I have one apology, which is Councillor Oliver, but he will be trying to join us online. I'm not sure if he's not there yet. So we'll just note that I don't think we need to move that at this stage. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, Councillor. Yeah, we don't actually have an apology from anyone else. We haven't received an apology. So we'll go now to, so we'll leave that, we don't need to move that because Councillor Oliver is trying to join us online. We go to public forum, there is no public forum, no urgent business, no matter of minor nature. Oh, sorry, yes, one, there was, Councillor Pye.
Yeah, just wondered if we could have an update on where the district plan is at and what the next steps are, please.
Yeah, perfect, thank you. We've got the team here to deal with that. Cool. Conflicts of interest in regard to the agenda? No, that's all good. When we come to 9.7, we do, which in the paper is delegation to Chief Executive during the interim election period. We do have part of that which we need to move to PX for discussion. And so we'll just deal with that at the time. What I'm suggesting also, because we've got that and then some minutes and we've got director appointments in PX, that I will give Councillor Parker and Councillor Booth just an opportunity to have a chat on their last few years in council, and that will be after 9.6. And you are the smart ones, you've chosen to go, and so you get the honour of saying some farewells. Any of us that aren't successful at the election, hard luck. So I look forward to that. So we'll move now to minutes of council meeting held on the 9th of September. And that is on page 6. Can I have a mover for that? Councillor Jackson, thank you. Councillor Burt, move that. Put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye. Against, carried. So we have schedules of functions attended by myself, Deputy Mayor and Councillors on page 8.1, at 8.1 on page 17. I'm happy to move that from the Chair. There's no questions, and thank you for those that have been to events, etc. as well. Seconder, Councillor Booth, perfect, thank you. Put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye. Against, carried. Then 8.2 is Chief Executive Schedule. Can I have a mover for that? Thank you, Councillor Burt and Councillor Parker. Put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye. Against, carried. So we move now to release of public excluded items, which is on page 20. If there's no discussion specifically on that, we'll just ask for a mover and a seconder. Yeah, happy to move that. Councillor Pye, Councillor Shannon. You guys look a bit lonely on that side of the table, don't you? Eh? You all right? Yep, we won't forget you. Put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye. Against, carried. Go to 9.2. So letters received from Sacred Heart School students. So a teacher at Sacred Heart messaged or emailed and said there was they'd been doing a sort of a class project, effectively writing some letters, which I think are really cool. And she said I'll drop them in. So I said, oh look, I'll go and have a chat and pick them up. And I said we'll put them through to the next meeting, and we'll be able to send that this clip to them as well. What I think it's one of those challenges that we always have with that sort of younger people engagement, and they're out there doing it themselves with a a proactive teacher, which is really cool. So happy to have any discussion. So there was a couple of things that when I was there, they raised the likes of the shooting range, and I said, well, actually, we do have a shooting range, some of those sort of things. So some pretty cool ideas. Sounds like it's not just for youth. Ninja Valley would be pretty fun for all ages. But is there any discussion? It would be nice to have so we can give some feedback to the kids. Councillor Jackson.
Did a little bit of research on it, as you do, because I thought it was quite interesting. It's good on them too for coming forward with this and bringing it to our attention. The one in Christchurch, I think it's for a 1 hour pass, it's about $22. Up to a 3 hour pass is $53. And I worked out that there are 12,375 people under the age of 15 in Timaru that might use it. If every kid went once for 1.5 hour sessions, that would equate to a turnover of around about $396,000, which would not be enough to sustain that sort of venture here on a long-term basis. Just putting those figures out there. It would need a lot of private equity to be involved for that to happen, and I don't know if it would be a thing for a town this size, but it's great that it's up in Christchurch for people to go and visit.
I appreciate your analysis.
Thank you.
I mean, it's good, but give the kids some hope.
Sorry, kids.
Councillor Pye.
I think this was great, and it's good to read through all the letters, but it begs the question, how does this kind of thing feed into VT's towards 2050 plan?
Yeah.
And what kind of engagement did VT do with the younger generation in Timaru, and how are their views reflected in that plan? It's not really a question, sorry.
No.
More a comment.
No, that's a good point, and we might just pick that up in the minutes so that can be picked up as a further discussion, because they're ultimately our future. So, no, it's a relevant point. Any further Questions? Councillor Booth.
Perhaps it's a lack of activities for that group of kids to participate in. You know, they're probably a bit lost there in between things, so potentially that's potentially the issue. A lot of towns have facilities and even arcades, if you like, where that age group kids can go and spend some time, burn some money in a safe environment.
Yeah, look, I think it can be provincial versus metro sort of challenge, can't it? Smaller towns, it takes sort of entrepreneurs to take the stuff forward, and to Councillor Jackson's point, a lot of these things aren't here because they won't make money and the business case doesn't support them. But they, if they were to work together in a facility, and we do hear all the time that some, different people are looking at different activities. I think our role again is how do we make it easy if someone wants to do business in town, isn't it? So that's probably the key thing. Any further discussion or questions? No, that's cool. I'll endeavour to write back and to this group of kids. So I'm happy to move that from the chair that's received a note. Councillor Scott, thank you. Put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye. Against, carried. Cool. Go now to action register update on page 45, and that is 9.3. There it is. Alrighty. So budget reallocation trial. The new monthly report has been completed, included with the August monthly financial report. Is there anything further on that one? Yep.
It wasn't included in the monthly report.
No.
But I do have it.
Yeah, brilliant. You can. Do you want to just? Oh, do you want to talk to the finances, or do you want? Yep. Perfect. Cool. Subcontracting. I know Mr. Dixon has been doing some work. There's the 17A across transport activities, which is great. I think that's a good approach to do that. It says it's recommended that the item is closed. I think I'd just rather keep this item open because it's the opportunity to save money with review. So I just think we, even if there's not necessarily an update on some specifics, noting that that's coming to March 26th, that we just keep it open until some of those reports have come through council, and comfortable for the next one to be just a note to that point, rather than you have to give it expansive commentary necessarily, and it might be up to the new council on how they view this into the future. Small trade still ongoing. I know they're doing stuff around cleaning, etc. So that's still there. Any comments, questions on that one? No. Vert quarterly report. Questions on that? No. Next one is financial system review, so that's ongoing, but we're getting there, which is good. Pretty key one for the new triennium as far as getting data and information back to decision makers. Where do we go to? Freedom Camping one. Okay, you happy with that one being closed? Yeah. Yes, Councillor Shannon.
Can I just check the signage has also been done, Andrew? The signage has also been done, not just the warranting of officers?
I can't answer that at this stage, but I can certainly find out, and what signage we actually need to do. But we have a number of designated freedom camping sites around the district. I'm pretty sure they have been signed to that, but I need to double check it.
Yeah, because that was part of the action. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's just note. We'll just leave it there if you're comfortable, and we'll just get an update on that. Let's go. Rates and revenue review. Just looking at who's going to endeavour to do that. So that's just a work in progress, but I think we're making some traction. I think it's probably important that we've got a key one for that is that it comes through to the next long-term plan. Obviously, with where we are with the chief executive at the moment, I think we just watch that as far as time-wise. Oh, you want to talk to that?
So as part of the new triennium, one of the first sessions will be a Rates 101
Okay, yeah.
with an external supplier looking at that, and then from there it will progress to
Okay,
the
as far as the
review.
build up to, yeah. Induction sounds exciting. Welcome to Local Government, Rates 101. So we now go to Colbert. Are we comfortable that that's closed? State Highway? No, there's no option to phone a friend. Yeah, Councillor Booth.
Obviously, I drive past there regularly,
Yes.
and there's nothing's happened for the last week for whatever reason. So why do they just stop work for a week and dig a hole and bugger off? I mean, it's crazy. But anyway, perhaps Susie would probably know more than me.
Oh, she may. I mean, it is NZTA at the end of the day. But
Yeah, so it is a NZTA project. I'd need to check in for the actual details, but I do believe there was some potential issues with the sewer pipe in the location, so I'd have to get back to you on that, Councillor Booth.
Are you aware of that, Mr Lester?
We'd need to confirm there's some stuff with NZTA. So it's an NZTA
No, totally.
project
NZTA project.
issue.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so as far as us going back to why it's here on the actions, I think we've covered all that. I don't think it needs to be on the action. So closed. Yep, thank you. New terms of reference, that's going to come through to the next triennium. Yep, otherwise all good. Happy to, so can I have a mover for that? Thanks, Councillor Jackson, Councillor Burt. Put the motion, all those in favour, please say aye. Cool, thank you. Alrighty, exciting stuff. 9.4, welcome the team for Timaru District Council draft annual report 24-25. Is there a reason you've all worn dark colours to present the draft report? Full moon. I'll pass over to you. We're in your hands. Thank you.
Through the chair, this is just giving an update on the annual report 2024-25 and providing a draft one to you for comment. One of the interesting first jobs the new council will get is signing off the annual report, seeing how you lot did previously. So we thought it was good to give you guys an opportunity to read through it in this draft form, noting that there will be changes due to going through audit at the moment, so things will be tweaked and some wording will be changed, but it was to give you a chance to ask any questions and have any comments on it prior to its adoption in the next triennium. So if there's any questions, the team here can probably answer them.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Doran. Questions? Who wants to go first? The last opportunity, Councillor Booth. Look here.
It's fantastic. If there's no questions, we can...
I know that you've had the opportunity to give feedback on this, so and it's not being adopted. It's just receive a note and an update to have it in the public realm. So if there's no discussion, that's fine. Yeah, but Councillor Shannon.
Well, perhaps what I'd like to do is recognise the timeliness of the release of each draft. I don't think we've been like this before that I can recall in previous years. It was really, really helpful getting it a couple of weeks back. By the time I'd sent through all my questions, got all my answers, and then got the second draft. So, can I find something else in here? No, third draft, and then got the summary. I thought, what? Just quietly. It was a really good job. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Councillor Scott.
I had several questions, but I actually just might email them because they're easily explained. But a couple of ones I just wanted to raise was around the performance measures that have been removed. And so my question is, how do we communicate that plan to, how do we explain to the community why we've removed those? To me, it says, are we not holding ourselves to account? So I just wanted some explanation to that, if that was okay, especially around the performance measures for democracy. That's been completely removed. I was interested in that.
Yeah, I can answer that. So that's just the difference between LTP 2131 and LTP 2434. So it's the measures that were removed in the creation of LTP 2434, but because we have to also report prior year's results, we have to put both sets in and then say which ones were removed and which ones we're still measuring. Yep.
So just in the report, it had Port Loop Road and Douglas Street renewals are now complete, but I just wondered, are they financially closed out or are they still ongoing? Because my understanding is, sorry, Susie.
I can answer Port Loop. So Port Loop is financially complete and the project is complete, so it will be capitalised.
Douglas Street is being capitalised as we speak. Yep.
Councillor Piddington will be pleased to know that. And then I just had a few things around a couple of sections, so what I'll do is I'll just email it and you can come back to me before Friday. No, just kidding.
Okay. Yes, Councillor Jackson, sorry. Okay.
Sorry, and I should have sent this through as an email previously, but I totally forgot about it. And I'm trying to find the page concerned, and I can't find it in my notes. It was just regarding one of the financial reports. It didn't have and it was quite hard to read because it didn't have the brackets to say it was a deficit. It was just all the figures, and I couldn't work out whether it had been a deficit or a surplus. It didn't seem very obvious. And sorry, I'll find the page eventually, but I can't find it right now. Just to the eye, it was hard to read.
Was that in the annual report or was that in the August financial report?
Oh, okay. Have I got the wrong report?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, cool. Sweet. Thank you.
Okay. On that note, are we happy to receive a note? Councillor Burt, you happy to move that? Councillor Parker, get one last run on the board. Put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye. Against, carried. Thanks, team. Some of you will stay there for the financial report, 9.5. And the floor is yours again. Thank you, ladies. Oh, and can we just have, there's just a page to distribute. Thank you.
Oh, actually, can I have one?
So before you is the financial report for August 2025. Thank you for your feedback already, Councillor Jackson. We are obviously trialling a whole new format. It's done through Magic, and it's where the activity managers can actually comment directly in there, so we're not having to transpose and not take as much. But I agree with you on the
comments are great. Awesome. Yeah.
Definitely.
Negatives are a bit hard.
Yeah, I agree with you that the negatives are a little bit harder to see, so there's room for improvement there, but happy for any other feedback. Thank you, Councillor Shannon, for picking up that it was actuals to 31 August 2024 instead of 25 in the third column of December. Other than that, happy to take. Yes.
Just make a comment. Number 5. There was meant to be a number 6 budget reallocation report, so we've just attached that separately. Even though those particular items have gone over budget, that particular activity as a whole is still running within budget, so hopefully they'll be able to make up those under budgeted items.
Councillor Burt.
Is Magic the process or is that the outcome statement?
So, so Magic is our reporting tool. Correct.
I thought this was absolutely brilliant. And after 3 years, I sat there and I read it and I thought, hallelujah. So well done, team. It's excellent. So I wish the next lot all the best because this is such a good report now. So well done. I know it's been stressful to get it to this stage and the comments were just bang on. So well done. I just had one question on page 61 around Alpine Stadium. It talks about that we're investigation to be completed, but my understanding, Alpine Stadium's Temuka. Yeah, I thought that was well and truly planned, being done. Have I missed something there? Like that, okay, shakings of the head spot.
Yeah. Temuka Stadium it is budgeted for, but the work hasn't started yet. We are still assessing. We're waiting on the new rules regarding earthquake prone. And so there's no point in doing something that we don't need to spend at this stage. So, yeah.
I know we've intentionally kept a lot of those things on the slow burn, so we would, so we wouldn't incur unnecessary costs. So, the Temuka Team Temuka, Councillor Shannon and then Councillor Pye.
First of all, reiterate Councillor Scott's thoughts there. This has absolutely made Councillor Booth's day too, I'm sure. This is probably why he's retiring, because it's... a couple of questions / comments with regard to, quite often it turns up in here relates to construction season not fully commenced. A lot of figures budgeted for that weren't actually realised. And I do note in there that quite often it says budget to be reforecast and that. So given that this is only August of this financial year, our office is going to reforecast so that so we're not going to see in the next month that it wasn't budgeted for because it was budgeted in this month. It's going to be great. That's what I
Just the
wanted to
timeline of August, hence July-August combination, because we've been concentrating on the annual report to get it to a point that so now that this is technically done, there'll be more work put into the monthly stuff.
Okay, good, because that accuracy and without turning them into targets, which we know Councillor Pye hates, that accuracy actually drives that efficiency, doesn't it? Yeah, good. And also, by the activities by directorate, the commentary of the variances for any variances greater than 30k, I'm not sure how appropriate that is for every single directorate, because there are some there where an under or an over might not be anywhere near the 30k, but as a percentage it's quite significant. So I'm not sure how you can massage that to still show that, but I think that'd be good. Yep. Cool. That's all from me. Well done, thanks.
Sorry, similar feedbacks and comments. This report made my weekend. That's how sad my weekend was. It is great after 3 years to see a report of this detail. That's really useful to us. My question is, how can we get better at budgeting? Because that seems like that's got to be the next challenge for us, is getting that seasonality, getting the timing and phasing of our budgeting, and even a couple of things that, have been decided in council chambers off the back of officers' reports, like, for example, the Canterbury Climate Change Partnership Plan, that doesn't seem to have made it into the budget. So how can we do better at that is my rhetorical question, actually.
So I guess starting the annual plan process earlier so that things can actually get in. Anything that's approved post annual plan, we don't actually change the budget because we actually have to report against what we published, but there'll be notes against there where there'll be unders or overs, carry forwards and those kind of things. So we'll try to, those situations put in the additional commentary.
Here's another challenge. Can we have like a spreadsheet tracking all of those things that get approved post-annual plan? Because that would be quite interesting.
Sure.
Because I know we're guilty of it in this room a number of times, for good reason. Yep. But it would be quite interesting to track that.
further questions? That's, yeah, Councillor. No, you're all good. Don't be sorry.
We've got so many red dots on here. This is probably for Mr Lester with regards to the trade waste revenue.
Oh, yeah.
Have you got the answer?
Yeah.
I've already asked him.
Mr Lester is happy to answer that.
Yeah, that the user fees were unbudgeted and the actuals are in line with the prior year. And if I can go back to the first page where I read it and write notes about it, the trade waste fees under budget, fees for Smithfield discharge are still ongoing. How long was this continuing for? And how is this going to impact revenue? Because I did think we were reallocating some of that.
So we've got 2 issues around the revenue. It's been flatlined across the entire. So the budget, the activity and the revenue doesn't come in a flat line all the way through. So that's one of the other issues. The other one is Smithfield has paid some trade waste charges based on an estimate that's being refunded now that we've got the data coming in. There was some refund because they didn't actually discharge. It was based on an estimate from the meter because we couldn't read the meter when the previous owner vacated and we didn't have access to actually get in and read the meter, and it was an automated process that put through an estimate based on previous. There's also the pans that they're disconnecting at the moment, which will also reduce that revenue coming in.
So this is going to correct itself?
It will correct itself. Yeah.
Okay. And a question for Mr Cooper regarding building revenue, fees and charges, and its revenue is obviously still based on current economic conditions, and it does look like it's tracking up. But at what point, and I know you're working quite hard for looking at the new model right now, but if demand doesn't meet what we've budgeted to achieve, at what point does that need to be reviewed?
Thanks for the question. Through you, Your Worship. We are currently looking at everything we're doing in building control, as you know, as we work towards sharpening up and becoming more CCO-like in how we operate. That's happening at pace, both in terms of how we manage risk. We've got a pod set up now purely for remote inspections, and we've tested that in Objective. We're working with other councils about how we can be smarter and work together as a processing hub. We're doing a number of different things. The market will be the market. We have just come through a change proposal, a restructure, and the unit is 4 roles lighter than it was pre-restructure. So we are running lean, and we're in that regard we're fit. And it's now about improving processes and efficiencies and getting the benefits from those things rather than moving on staff numbers. We are actively looking for contracts, for processing contract consents outside of district with other TAs. If some of those come to fruition in whole or in part, we may then have to look at how we service the new level of service or the new amount of work that we've got, but there'll be good problems to have that we don't have currently. So, yeah.
And finally, just a question about libraries. August, who's looking after libraries now? Mike is not here.
Michael's not here, but throw it out there.
Okay. August looks pretty good. Looks very good, obviously. Prior to August, not so much. I was going to ask, is this the direction of travel now? In terms of, are we on track to be as below budget as we were for that particular month?
Yes.
Great, thank you, Mayor Nigel.
I I don't know, but
You don't know?
No, but I'm
I'll flick him an email.
But
that's
I'm
great.
hopeful.
It looks good. It looks positive. It
It's
does.
now, yeah, it's now gospel, so that's our expectation. So, yeah, we can find that out.
That'd be lovely.
We'll let
Thank you
know.
very much. That's all I have.
We'll get back to you on that one. And
Anything further? No, all good. Yeah, thank you. I enjoyed that report as well. I think it's a great format, so well done, team. Appreciate all the work, and I'm sure that's not easy to that point. So, recommendation is that the council receive and note the summary financial results to 31st of August. Can I have a move? Thank you, Councillor Shannon. Councillor Pye, any further discussion? No. I'll put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye. Against, carry. Thank you. Thanks, ladies. Really appreciate that. Move now to, and we'll welcome John's here as well, John and Andrea, thank you. And we've got council and group asset impairment reviews. Welcome, John. We'll pass over to you. The floor's yours.
Good afternoon, thank you. The reason why you're seeing this review today, this report today, is that we had a discussion at the last Audit and Risk Committee meeting about asset impairments, and particularly Audit New Zealand comments about having a more formal process. And as a consequence of that meeting, they requested that we prepare a report to the full council to give a sort of a marker as to where we are with asset impairments. I will assume that you've read the report and ask for any questions.
Councillor Pye.
Thank you for this report. I just have a question around, really around point 12, where you've put in some impairments there. So who actually makes this assessment? Is it just one of the council officers goes and has a look and goes, that's only worth 80% of what we say it's worth, and so we'll write it down by that? So is it purely subjective?
It would depend on the particular situation, and I think this range of issues here probably demonstrate that. So the first one is very as much as subjective. You'll all be aware of the memorial. It's looking quite worn, but in discussion with Parks, we decided that it's obviously still in use, therefore still has value, but obviously needs quite a lot of refresh, which I understand is the plan, but obviously it's not a high priority plan. The second one was one that you have discussed in this meeting previously, and so we know there is an actual footbridge which is actually being closed, and where there's an actual plan to repair it. So that's the example of it's not really a subjective decision at all. And the final one is the sort of thing which is clearing up stuff from our asset register where there's lack of certainty, we're not really sure what the asset is, and therefore we're going to be eliminating assets of that nature, which we've been doing over the last couple of years. So there's 3 examples of different versions of why we do it.
Just a follow-on question, so especially for those first 2, so we impair it this year. If we take the footbridge, for example, next year we repair it. So how does that work? So do we reverse the impairment and capitalise the repairs, and that becomes the new value?
Yes, there's 2 ways we can impair an asset. One is if it is a permanent impairment where there's no intention of repairing or remediating it in any way, and it's going to stay as it is but with a reduced functionality, then we would put through a permanent impairment against that, which would actually go into the asset register and reduce the value on an ongoing basis. If we believe that the asset isn't expected to be repaired in some way or brought back up to full functionality, we do just a provisioning, which just goes in and then comes out again, as you just said. So it'll be reversed. In this case, assuming the footbridge is fully repaired this year, it would be repaired. So the provision would be reversed this year as well. Yeah.
Sorry, just one last thing on that, just for Councillor Booth's benefit. Does that mean the reversal of the provision gets shown as income that's not?
Thank you, Councillor Pye. My question is 12.4 around AEL and the $19 million, I guess I would call it impairment, and perhaps I shouldn't, that they lost in regards to the overcharging fiasco. And it's not being reflected in their books because they've shown it, but should it therefore be shown in the holdings company books as an impairment?
Yes, this is, of course, probably the thing which has highlighted this process, because last year we had insufficient information to impair it, and then this year it has gone through their books not as an impairment but actually as a reduction in their income. So if you look at your draft annual report, you'll see that there is a net loss against the share of associates' income this year, which reflects what's happened in AEL primarily. So that will flow through to the group consolidated accounts. If they had decided for some reason not to do that, then yes, we would have had to undertake a separate impairment process, and almost certainly would have done so. I suspect we also would have been asking questions as why they hadn't taken it into account. The expectation at a group level is that known issues are resolved by the subsidiary, first and foremost, and then that at a group level we shouldn't have to separately engage in a different exercise where they have already engaged in that exercise themselves. And we have received from TDHL a formal impairment statement on both Prime Port and on AEL, saying that there's no additional impairment that they are aware of at this stage. It's the aware of thing which I think is the main issue. We can't impair for something we don't know has happened. One of, what was it, the unknown unknowns. But if we heard or knew about something happening in addition to what we already know about, then we would be required to look at that position again and say, okay, is there an additional impairment in value required? We haven't undertaken a very technical impairment review. We don't believe that's necessary. It is possible we could probably spend thousands of hours and dollars reviewing a lot of these things in quite a lot of detail, which might be fine if we were a finance investment company, but I suspect that our ratepayers probably wouldn't want us to do that for what hopefully is a straightforward issue. But you're correct in that question. That has certainly been the thing which has triggered a lot more focus on impairment this year.
Thank you.
Anyone further? Impairments? No. Go to the recommendation that Council receive and note Council and Group Asset Impairment Reviews report. Can I have a mover? Councillor Burt. Seconder, Councillor Booth. No further discussion. I'll put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye. Against, carried. Can I just confirm, has Councillor Oliver joined us online? No, that's all right. We'll just go back just for tidy that up. I'll move from the chair, Councillor Oliver be recorded as an apology. Councillor Scott, thank you. Thanks, team. Appreciate that. Put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye. Against, carried. Thank you. You're good. Perfect. Alrighty. So before we go into 9.7, we are going to throw it open to Councillor Parker and Councillor Booth. You can choose who wants to go first, and yeah, we're looking forward to hearing from you. And from my side of that, I know I noted a couple of things. You can stand up the front if you wanted to. No, you don't. You can. Oh, that's all right. But just a big thank you from us. There's a lot of work from councillors that goes unnoticed behind the scenes, and I know Councillor Parker and Councillor Booth, you've got both had your specific interests and championed some stuff and have been really active, across long-term plans and other stuff, and so yeah, really big thank you. But floor's yours, Sally.
Thank you. And if you're present on Friday, it's a little bit of a rinse and repeat. So just FYI. So thank you to Council and to our district who have supported me over the last 9 years. It's been a privilege and a responsibility to help shape our district through engagement and governance. So I spent a lot of time reflecting over the last 3 terms. They've been all quite completely different terms over the last 9 years. So my first term, I had Mayor Odie as our chief, and I came in fresh-faced and very keen to help change a few things in our district. And one of my first attempts was to change the bylaw with dogs on the bay. So I pitched that we should change the bylaw to include 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. throughout the year. And boy, oh boy, did the community soon tell me that that was not going to happen. It was quite shocking, and Mayor Odie was very good, reassuring me that it was safe to go to the supermarket. But you've got to try these things, don't you? And if you don't ask, you don't know. Mayor Odie also put me in charge of the youth as such. So we did a couple of conversation cafes. The first one was really promising. We had a great facilitator and we got youth from the district and got some ideas. So then we did a subsequent conversation cafe, and that wasn't as successful. And we had to re-look at how we're going to engage with youth. But once again, you've got to try these things, test them out and keep going. During our long-term plan on that first term, we had a really good engagement with youth again. Myself, Anne and Mark, who was facilitating the long-term plan back in term 1, along with Mayor Odie and Councillor Jack. We went to all the high schools of our community. We had lunch with the students. We talked about our main four topics for that long-term plan, engaged, and got some really good feedback. So that first term was a lot of community engagement. I also sat on the Public Transport Advisory Group, but that was held at ECAN. Really good group. Once again, we did a lot of engagement, consultation regarding our public transport. It was a slow burn to start, I must say, but probably about 18 months, probably second year into the term, we got a concept, an idea that we thought. So this idea was being run in Newcastle in Australia. So myself, Andrew Dixon, Jeremy from ECAN back then, Dave Jack, I think, as well, because he was Chair of Infrastructure. We were fortunate to go to Newcastle. So we talked to local authorities, we talked to passengers on the bus, we talked to IT. We really could learn and identify whether this concept would work in our district, in our community. So we brought that back, and we could implement it. It was such a worthwhile trip. If we hadn't gone there and spoken to the ground floor, the people running the buses, people using the buses, what worked, what didn't, I don't believe we would have been able to implement My Way as successfully as we could for our district here. So that's been a huge success, absolutely love it. Increasing connectivity for our public, it's just been a real success, so I'm really proud of that. So then came term 2, and along with term 2 came COVID and water reform. And so those 3 years was pretty much swallowed up with COVID and water reform. There wasn't a lot of face-to-face engagement. There was a lot of regulatory work done behind the scenes in this chamber. But I was fortunate enough for Mayor Bowen to allow me to kick off the age-friendly strategy. So this was very dear to my heart, something that I campaigned on all 3, about active ageing, keeping our community connected. So once again, did a lot of community engagement in Timaru, Pleasant Point, Duradine, Temuka. I had a great team of council officers working with me then, and we drew up a strategy. And by no way is a strategy perfect, but it's a starting point and something to build on that really reflects our community, our district. Being Chair of Infrastructure, I was fortunate to work with Andrew Dixon. Thank you, Andrew, for your time and support. Susie, thank you. And Ruth, when Ruth was here working for Waste, I must mention her, she was great. So being part of the Infrastructure Committee, achieving increased levels of service and delivering some big projects Fortunate to be coming in on the end of some projects, especially Downlands, who previous councils had put in the hard yards for that, and then the Parrow pipeline as well. So really proud to be part of those big projects, getting them across the line for our community, giving our community some resilience as well with our water. Really proud of that work. Also fortunate to be appointed as a director for TDHL. So really enjoyed my time on TDHL. The board has worked hard with their strategy, and we've worked hard to get into a position to allow diversification, and we're there now. So we need diversification for our portfolio so we can continue to grow our dividend, which will come back to council. So that's great. So I'm passionate about localism, and I can see working with other councils in the future of benefit, definitely, because I think we are unique in the three, as in South Canterbury, and we need to deliver a service that reflects our people and our people's needs. So every area is different, and we need to be close to those people. So keep it local, keep engaging with our people, identifying what's important to them. I look forward to the completion of our new theatre, heritage and stadium projects. Once again, I can see this bringing connectivity back to our community, connectivity with our arts, our culture, our sport and our community. So 3 big projects. I think it's going to make Timaru great. So I wish you all well. I wish my fellow councillors all the very best for the upcoming elections. I've really enjoyed my time here, and I know it's time to go and do something different now. So thank you all.
If you don't mind, I'm going to sit down. It'll take a while. First of all, I'd like to thank all the constituents and all the ratepayers and everyone who supported me in my bid to become a councillor. So all the people out there who regularly talk to me. I'm out and about quite a bit, probably in the wrong places, but anyway. And I get quite a bit of feedback, which I enjoy and I don't take too seriously. So. But anyway, it's been a tremendous pleasure to represent the ratepayers and the residents of our district. I know a lot of people, and it's been very satisfying. I'd also like to recognise my fellow councillors that are sitting around the table with me. While we don't always agree, you know, it would have been helpful if you did agree a bit more often with me, but we'll worry about that later. And obviously the council staff, who are our biggest asset in our council, and we cannot forget that. And I hope this latest upheaval that we've just had is hopefully the last one you'll have for a while. It's not good for morale, and it undermines a whole lot of stuff within the organisation. And the biggest asset that biggest and best asset we've got here is our staff and our people. So we should never forget that. And people, once they get into the council environment, they tend to stay there, and they thrive, and I guess that they've got, as they get more experience, they've got a lot more to offer and assist to the councillors, because the councillors come and go, as does, the mayor, and we all change around the community boards. So, obviously I'd like to thank my family for supporting me when I've been here. They've stuck alongside me. Probably some of the challenges that I've been involved in, and perhaps I've said town centre, I'm passionate about the CBD and I'm concerned about its future, and I realise that everything evolves, and the advent of internet shopping, the courier vans running around dropping off Temu crap to everyone, which does my head in. And obviously, our CBD is the heart of our town, and we need to protect it and look after it. And it will evolve, but we need to be cautious about what we allow to happen around the district that's going to undermine its future. We don't want to have a ghost town in the middle of town, which is a lot of other districts it has happened to already. And our district is one of the last that's actually given into the big box syndrome, such as the showgrounds, of which I'm speaking about. Back when I started, we allowed the sale to proceed based on the assumption that the holdings company gave us certainty, and that the shops couldn't be under a certain size. But that has since been eroded by various alterations to the consent, which is going to undermine our CBD if it's allowed to. The proliferation of that will, and that will cause a big problem for the district council in regards to where they should be investing their money. So should you build the theatre out at the showgrounds? Well, have we think about it. So we're going to invest in your assets. So you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot. City town, we actually had some big ideas then. We wasted a whole lot of money on consultants and probably the wrong architects. They're greenies from Christchurch, and wanted to have a lot of cycleways, and their electric car broke down coming down from where to postpone a meeting. So we definitely had the wrong crowd. So that was a bit of a balls up. But anyway, I guess the manganese in the water, that was an interesting one. And it was, the old silage pit. But, evidently it wasn't the silage pit. But, there was, funny enough, there was one just about 100 metres away. And right in line with where our arterial suction pipe is for our water. But anyway, that was, we got over that. The toilet didn't look too good in the toilet bowl for a while. So, I guess some of the highlights. I guess I've been involved in VT, which has been great. Our economic development group. I've also been working with the CBD group to establish the BID, the Business Improvement District, which we've got now underway, which will ensure funding for some activities and promotion for our CBD to help it survive. So I guess that's something I'm proud of. I guess the day that I saved $5 million on a civil contract, on a contract, I think I'm proud of that, because that paid for everything for me, quite frankly. I guess I'm proud that I was part of some of the director selections, which I think helped make some good decisions, and I think that's been a major turning point in our holdings company, is that we're getting some good directors on there, people who are participating, have got current experience and relevant experience, and no more. That was reflected in the makeup of our prior Alpine Energy Board, which was just unbelievable and cost us a shitload of money, and over a period of time. Literally no debt, and coming out there about 100 million in debt now, and they just did some real stupid things, and that is governance 101, the wrong people. So that has changed, and I'm happy to say that I've actually think I've helped there a little bit. Looking ahead, I guess I'd encourage people to participate. I'd like to think that if you're wanting to come along and be a councillor, that you've got something to offer, and you just don't sit there and not comment and not come along and not read your agenda and understand or ask questions. It's very important that you ask questions and participate, and ensure that all the information is out on the table so you can make an informed decision. A constant bugbear for me has been the finances, of which I have to say that looked very good today, Andrea. Thank you. That report, and the fact that we have been running unbalanced budgets for the last 4 to 5 years is a major concern for me, and I've kept talking about it. And until we are spending the correct amount of money and not borrowing that money to spend on OPEX and the things you need to run a council, I probably won't keep quiet about it. But and hence that's why I'm pretty miserable giving money away too. So I'm on the community funding board, and I'm not very good at that. So, but anyway, I've got to say that I don't see any point borrowing money to give it to someone else. So it just until that is balanced, we're running balanced budgets. We shouldn't be giving any money away. So anyway, that is something that I think if you've got options once you've got that the council in a position. And you're running that the same in as same out, and you are collecting your depreciation, which is the existing ratepayers' usage of the facilities as of now. You're kidding yourself. So and you got very few options. Debt has gone when I arrived 20 million to 195. I'm not very proud of that, but I actually have been here, and that's due to we spent a lot of capital money on capital. I'm concerned about the Theatre Royal and even though I think I voted for it in the first place, and then I voted against it about 2 or 3 times, and then I finally voted for it again when they said it promised it was going to be 40 million. So let's see what happens there. So I guess that's a concern. That could be a big blowout. Hopefully not. Personal note, I guess I won't miss the 300 to 400 page agendas every 2 weeks. And obviously there was a few perks too, because I had a parking permit. Of which was extensively used, even in other towns. And obviously I've picked up a few mates on the way through. My girlfriend Prudence, I've got a new girlfriend. And obviously one of my favourite words is vested assets. I love that. And stop the madness. Yep. So I guess I'm looking forward, when I considered standing again this term, I realised the commitment of another 3 years, and it's significant. So I really do take my hats off to you guys who are sticking around and wanting more of it. But anyway, that's why you have to be committed to put your name down, because the time is required to be here and doing it. So obviously, special thanks to Nigel. Thank you. You've been a great mayor, and it's about leadership, and Obviously, the CE is very important to the organisation. Unfortunately, yeah. But anyway, our CE's just had a health issue, which is unfortunate. I wish him all the best. I guess I'll probably... who else haven't I thanked? Sister-in-law. I just wish Sally all the best in her retirement.
Thank you.
And I hope to spend more time down in Clyde, my little batch down there and stuff like that, so I'll find something to do. So thank you very much.
There you go. You can't argue that freedom of speech doesn't exist in the chamber in Timaru District Council. Look, thank you to you both. Oh, wow. That's all right. Go for it.
Climate change is a load of crap.
Final words. That's fantastic. Look, and I sort of acknowledged Sally more so before, but just on you, Councillor Booth, I think what a lot of people don't understand is that financial acumen is really important, and you've certainly brought it to this council, so thank you for that, and that will be a hole, and hopefully that will be filled by someone out there. But what I respect most about you is you're able to debate something in full in the chamber, and then you walk out of the chamber and it's gone. And that's a real tribute to you. So yeah, thank you, and look forward to staying in touch. So thank you to both of you. Right, we do need to finish this meeting, so we are now on to 9.7. As I said, we're going to do this in two parts. So we've got the delegation to the Chief Executive during the interim period. So I welcome the team up to discuss that one, and then we'll move to PX to cover some of that. This is a paper that we receive every year because through that, at the end of the triennium until the 28th, which is the inaugural meeting, the powers effectively shift to the Chief Executive. So we need to consider this. So I'll welcome Stephen and Elliot, and I'll pass over to you guys. Thanks, team.
Yep, so this is the report that tides us over that period between the final results being announced, which should be sort of 17th or 18th of October, and when you re-sign up as councillors. There's no council over that period, so what that happens is it delegates to the Chief Executive or the Chief Executive's appointed acting person over that period to just keep the home fires burning. Any decisions have to be made in consultation with who's been successfully voted in as mayor. So there's a safety net in that, but it basically just keeps the organisation going in the interim. Belgium went 589 days without an acting government a few years ago. So we're only asking for 10 days, so we won't be too misbehaving in that time. So yeah, no, it's pretty straightforward.
Thank you. I was just thinking that only because we're going back into let's deal with this, and then we'll deal it within two parts, because I wanted to discuss that minor nature item, and just so we're a bit more fluid. So let's go to questions in regard to this part of the paper, and in that regard, the recommendation that we're considering is just what's in front of you. Yeah. So is there any questions in that regard? No. Okay. So we can deal with it in two parts. So if you're happy. I'm happy to move from the chair that the recommendation, which is up on the screen for 9.7. Can I have a seconder for that? Yeah, Councillor Burt. So any further discussion? No, I'll put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye. What we'll do is just stay there, team, and we will address the minor nature item in regard to district plan update. Paul, maybe Aaron? Thank you, and then we will go to PX to deal with the second part of that paper.
Thank you, Your Worship, and through you. The district plan review finished up with its last hearing, which I believe was an online hearing last week. So we're now through the hearings process. We're looking at a draft decision or decisions relating to the proposed plan in mid-February. That'll be given to us, and then I think we go public with those with the decisions around mid-March. Is that right, Aaron?
Yes.
Yep, mid-March.
Yes, so Council's previously delegated to the panel decision-making powers, and that decision is due on or prior to the 22nd of March. So as Mr Cooper touched upon, the panel has introduced a process where they'll release the text of the draft decision for technical feedback from the Council's team, but also those submitters. That's open for a month to provide that feedback, and they'll then rationalise and finalise their decision before issuing it to staff to publicly notify that in accordance with the Resource Management Act.
Thank you. Any questions on that, Councillor Pike?
I just wondered, what is the process from that point once it's fully notified if there are items that council or the community don't think suit our community to then change it? You don't have to go through the entire process again, do we?
There has been a change in direction from this government. There have been several other changes that have occurred since we notified this proposed plan. So in terms of being fit for purpose, there's probably 80% there, maybe 90%, and there'll be another 10 or 15% that's not quite reflecting what governance and the community would hope for, that's available for us within the planning framework. I think with the reform signals that we've got and the legislation that will become clearer before the end of the year, when government release that information, it will give us a good idea as to what we will need to do in order to pivot, if that's what governance would like us to do post when we have an operative plan. I think to get some runs on the board, if it were, I think we will still require evidence. So it's about how do we best provide that evidence to decision makers to then have that decision available to them if we want to go in a particular different direction. And most people's concern is around opening up land for industrial use and also for residential, given our topography in Timaru, where most of the flat land is no longer available. So I think we can start, once we get that signal from central government, we can start thinking about where best to invest a little bit of money to get some runs on the board in terms of achieving some outcomes that might suit once we have an operative plan. If we have appeals, then that will slow things down, and we'll enter into a sort of negotiating or a mediated process with those parties. But is there anything you want to say?
Probably.
I was just going to ask on that appeal process. So if only one part of the plan gets appealed, does the rest become operative, and it's just that one section that doesn't become operative, or how does that work in practice?
Yeah, so once council notifies the decision, there's a 30-day period, and once the decision's notified, that decision has increased weighting versus the proposed. So at a planning level, we have to consider both plans, but effectively type of equal weighting. And yes, if provisions are appealed, that impacts on the weighting that's applied, and then based on the scope of the width of the appeals, that could enter into mediation or environment court. And once all that process is completed, the final plan comes back to council for adoption as being operative. If parts aren't appealed, that can be made operative sooner than those parts that are subject to appeal, and it really is just a matter of waiting and seeing if any appeals are received, whether they're against the whole plan or just specific rules or provisions.
Awesome, thank you. So there was no more minor nature, there was no urgent business. We'll go now to, I'll just note in public, Councillor Oliver has just joined us at 3:12, so he's now on board with us via Teams. So, yeah, I'll move us to PX. So we've just got to an item in regard to the delegations, and then we've got some minutes, and then we've got director appointments in regard to TDHL, and it's normal that we go into PX so we can discuss individuals that have applied, and that will then be made public afterwards. So I'll move us from the chair. Can I have a seconder? Councillor Parker, thank you. Any discussion? No, put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye. Against, carried. Cool. So we'll just pause for 2